Hi all, I'm Trisha Peach, host of the Peach Buzz, and I'm very excited to have a special guest on the show today. I recently ran into Roger Fields, the head of Kids Blitz Ministry, and also author of a book with his brother that I reviewed on my blog, if you'd like to check that out. They have awesome ministries going on, but he was telling me about an amazing new ministry that he's involved in, and I actually recorded it for the show. And then some of the sound didn't turn out, so I'm so grateful that he's willing today to Skype in and talk about what's going on with that ministry, because I think it's one you as children's and family ministers should know about, and the lead pastors who watch the show. You should know about what's going on with this. So welcome, Roger, to the show today. Thank you for being here.
Hey, great to be here, Trish. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm in Kentucky.
Woo!
Central Kentucky, on our farm.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
There you go.
That's a hot day in Wisconsin today, which is a rare thing. Very rare.
Anything over 60 is like a hot day in Wisconsin, isn't
Yes, absolutely. You're right. It's like 85 today. We don't know what to do. This is like an apocalypse.
Wow, yeah. That's about what it is here, actually. So.
Oh, wow. So,
Listen, I'm looking forward to doing this.
Me too. I was very excited to hear about this ministry that has to do with bullying and how you're able to partner with some of these schools. Can you tell us a little bit more about this ministry that you have launched?
Yeah. You know, we have toyed with the idea for a long time, and we've been asked for a long time to do a school program. And just never felt like something God wants to do, to take Kids Blitz into a school. Of course, schools, particularly secular schools or public schools, are very limiting on what you can say anyway.
Yes.
But God dropped in my heart back in the first year, the last of, I guess, 2017, about doing a school program that targets the epidemic of bullying in our schools. I mean, it is a big deal what's happening in high schools, middle schools, and now even elementary schools. And it's a whole different thing than it used to be when I was a kid. You know, when I was a kid, if you got bullied, you know, you can get bullied at school or maybe on the bus, but you could go home, and that was kind of a safe zone. You can get away from it.
Yeah.
Well, there's no safe zone today. And so kids get, through texting mainly, some social media, they get hammered with kids ganging up on them, calling them every name in the book. And kids get, just ridiculed before they even get to breakfast in the morning. And so there's just no safe zone. It's just not the way it used to be. Plus, you can still get pushed around in the hallway, maybe pushed up to the locker room, but it's a lot bigger than that now. It's just a whole different deal. And so they know, the statistics are kind of weird because they don't really know how many kids take their own lives as a result of bullying. It's just hard to nail that down. They know that suicides are on the rise, but they don't know exactly how big of a factor bullying plays in. They know it plays a lot, but they don't know how much. But what they do know is, on average, 160,000 kids stay home from school every day because they're afraid of bullying, or they just don't want to put up with it. They've just had it. A lot of kids just retreat into a shell and go into depression. Some kids end up being able to change schools. All kinds of things happen. But it is a big, big problem. And a lot of times the schools themselves don't even quite know what to do, how to handle it, and how to get their arms around it. It's just, I think it's really an epidemic. And so we want to put a dent in that.
160,000 kids stay home from school because of bullying. Day. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's amazing. They just don't do it. Now, there are some just horrendous stories out there. I'll give you one story. And this happened years ago, but I tell it like this. By the time the police arrived, the mom was having a nervous breakdown. The dad was chainsawing a tree down in the backyard. And the reason is because they got up that morning and their 10-year-old son had hanged himself in the tree at the first day of school. And they were just, that family was just having a meltdown.
Oh, my goodness.
And obviously, not every kid takes their own lives, but a lot of them do. And we begin reports from schools saying, yes, we need your help. We had 2 kids this year that took their own lives because of bullying. And so kids can just be brutal to each other. And it's one thing to be picked on. I mean, every kid gets picked on, you know. It's not like, just torn to shreds.
Yes.
And the thing of it is, when you're in, later elementary, middle school, or high school, that's your whole world is what other kids think of you.
Yes.
And so when you believe that the entire world thinks you're a loser, the one thing to do that's a little controversial is, and we don't do this in elementary, but with middle school and high school, here's what I do. I mean, I start off this way, and I have to get their attention. I have about 40 to 45 minutes to make this program stick. And so I come in and say, hey, my name is Roger Fields. I'm the one who got you out of class. Of course, they cheer for that. I say, hey, do you know these kids? And I show these slides of about 10 or 12 kids, usually middle school, high school age. Now you show different races. Some are boys, some are girls, a little bit different age ranges. So you know this kid? No. And I know they don't know any of them. But I go through, hey, know this kid, no. We get to the end, I just say, I don't know, maybe the reason you don't know them is because, well, they're all dead. And the reason they're dead is because they took their own lives. Mm-hmm. And the reason they took their own lives is because they were being bullied. And so then we go in, we address 4 groups. I address the bully, then I address the target of the bully, the one who's getting bullied, and then I address what we call the sneezer. Those are the ones who just kind of pass on everything the bully's doing. Did you hear what they're saying about you? They're the ones that kind of keep the thing alive, kind of being your friend, And then there's the bystanders, the kids who just don't do anything. And so we just have a different message for each one of those 4 groups. And basically we end with, this is like your house. This is your house, this school and the environment around your school. And you wouldn't let me come into your house and start doing stuff like this to your brother or sister, your mom or dad. No. Well, don't put up with it in this is your house. And so we have a lot of illustrations, and we even do a game or two to kind of, make this an interactive event. But after I tell them the story, then I'll say this, and I said, you know what bullying is? Now here's the controversial part. I didn't actually say this earlier. The controversial part is in middle school and high school, I tell them the words they're using. And I just say, look, they have to be you have to shine a light on what they're doing. And so you can't be mealy-mouthed around it. I mean, I go in there to drop a bomb, and I say, you know what bullying is, don't you? It used to be you just pushed a kid up against the locker. Now it's when you call a kid a slut, a hoe, a fat bitch. And I go through about 10 or 12 terms that they're using. And I just lay it out one time. And I need them to know that I know what's going on in their world. Because they don't believe adults really know what's going on.
I bet that gets their attention. Right right then and there.
It is amazing. You can hear a pin drop. Once I go through, show them the picture of the kids took their own lives, and I go through the terminologies that they're using. Then I start to say to the bully, I said, listen, bully, it works like this. Hurting people hurt others, and you are hurting.
Yes.
You need help. You need to talk to your mom or dad, somebody at the school, somebody that can help you.
Yes.
And so we have to tell illustrations to try to explain to them that what's on the inside just comes out. And so it's a compassionate approach to the bully, but we just try to let the bully know you have a problem. And so we explain that. We then go to the target and we say, look, one thing we know, and I show some other slides. I show some celebrities, and I try to carefully pick my celebrities. Some are singers and actors and all that. And I say, I show them, who this is, and they know all the celebrities, I said, you know what they all have in common? They were all bullied in school.
Wow.
And I said, here's what I said, when a kid in your school or a friend or somebody says something about you that demeans you, do you know what impact that has on your life? If you don't let it, it has absolutely zero impact. Nothing. I mean, it does not have to have any impact. They cannot define you if you don't let them define
That's right.
you. So we talk about that, talk to the target. And if we help with the problem by telling their friends about what everybody else is saying about them or what the bully's saying about them. So we kind of say, and then we talk to the bystanders and we say, look, some of you can make a difference. And we tell the coolest story in the world. Coolest story happened 2 years ago. It actually happened in Wisconsin, in Lincoln Middle School in, what's the name of this town? Let's see, I wrote it down here somewhere. In Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, I know Kenosha.
Well, here's what happened. Lincoln Middle School. It was a middle school basketball game. 3 kids, let me get their names right. It was Scooter, Miles, and Chase. They walked off the court in the middle of the game, middle of the basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
They walked off the court and up into the stands. And the reason they did that is because they saw a girl who had Down syndrome who was in their school being bullied. And they went up in the stand and stopped it.
Thank goodness.
And they've since renamed it Gymnasium. It was a girl by the name of Desiree. They call it like Dee's Gym now or something. And so they decided not to put up with it. And I just say to the kids.
I just hope. It could happen to any of us. It could happen to any pastor watching this, kids in your kids ministry or youth ministry. Also, I think that the kids pastors watching need to understand you can't just say this is a senior high problem. This is starting.
No, it's not all.
This girl's 13, and I've been seeing it. My son, an 11-year-old, killed himself when my son was 11. It's younger and younger every year, I feel.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it probably is. I mean, I know the older elementary students are dealing with this big time.
Yes.
And it's really difficult to kind of bring this to an elementary. You know, we don't do first and second graders, but like older elementary kids, I kind of have to be a little bit careful. I don't want to send the kids home with a new vocabulary. You know, so I care. You know, but it's basically be careful about don't be mean kind of thing. So we have to be delicate, but it's just amazing, and we're getting some calls from different schools wanting to figure out what to do. I mean, it's pretty devastating when you're at school and all of a sudden, kid takes her own life. I mean, that impacts the whole school.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, that's the new thing we're doing right now, and that's we're excited to see where that goes.
I think that's fantastic. If somebody were wanting.
Excuse me?
Oh, if somebody were wanting to have that ministry at their local school, let's say they're a school principal watching this or a pastor who would like to bring this into their school, where would they go to get more information?
Well, there's a couple things. Right now, we're actually making BullyBlitz a separate entity apart from Kids Blitz.
Okay, BullyBlitz. Okay.
BullyBlitz. Now, if you go into kidsblitz.com, you can still get information about this. There's a drop down under BullyBlitz, and you can get that. But we're having to kind of separate this from the ministry. The schools need to know. We're going to go in there and have a targeted focus on bullying without trying to evangelize the kids, even though we'd love to do that. Schools are not into that. So we're trying to keep the kids alive long enough to be able to respond to the gospel at some point. So that's the approach we're taking. But BullyBlitz is the name of it. You can see it linked at kidsblitz.com. And then there's a number you can call, or you can send in a form or email, and we'll talk to you about it. A lot of times the churches will partner with the school. A lot of the churches will actually kind of pay the cost for this thing, and then they'll put us in contact with the school principal. We'll get them on the phone and explain to them exactly what we're going to do in this program. And that kind of works. Kind of sets them at ease a little bit.
So they could get information on Kids Blitz, the Kids Blitz site for now, and then it's going to be separate later in its own.
Well, we'll probably always have something about it on the Kids Blitz site, but we're going to more promote to the schools, the separate BullyBlitz site.
That sounds great. That sounds awesome. And you also have, I mean, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal right there. But on top of that, from what I hear, you have 1 or 2 brand new podcasts out?
Yeah, we're really into this podcast thing. I was never that much into podcasts until recently, but we've got was one that's called Blitz Bombs for children's pastors. A real short, like 5-minute podcast. And a lot of times I'll tell a story of something that happened on the road to kids. I've been doing this for a long time, Tricia. It's a lot of funny stuff that's happened on the road. So sometimes we'll tell a story, or even maybe something that happened to me in children's ministry before I got into Kids Blitz, before I started that. And so they'll kind of weave that into maybe just a point or something to try to just, do something inspiring or encouraging for a children's pastor. And those are called Blitz Bombs.
Who doesn't need the encouragement? I mean, who doesn't need a laugh and some encouragement? That's a great idea.
Well, that's what we try to do. We try to be kind of a little bit funny, some funny things have happened to me over the years. So we'll tell some of those stories. Usually just one little story, one point, that's it. And then my brother and I started a podcast called The Fields Brothers Show.
Okay.
You can also get this on iTunes, or you can email it. Or there's our website is called thefieldsbrothers.com. You can get it from that. So Jeff and I are having a great time doing this. It is really a unique podcast, and it's very faith-based, very grace-based.
Awesome.
It's along the lines of the book, Breaking the Hex, how the cross, or enjoying God after the cross, life with God after the cross killed religion. And so it's all about the power of what really happened on the cross. So we bring some of that into it, but we also just talk about some of the stuff that's going on in our lives. And we get to poke fun at each other, and we have a lot of fun with this. But it's about a 45-minute podcast. It's a once-a-week deal.
Awesome.
And Fields Brothers Show. So.
All right, I'm putting the link below to Fields Brothers, and also to your book, which, again, if you want to read my review, everybody, go check that out on my blog. And also, you travel with BullyBlitz Ministries as well?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to the next stop is I'm in town for another week or so, then I go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh,
so,
nice.
A quick trip. I won't get spending time on the beach, though, but...
That's great. I'm headed to Greenville, Mississippi in just a couple weeks, so see you soon, Greenville, Mississippi.
Coast to coast.
There we go. Yeah, I can't wait. Greenville, Mississippi, though, and South Carolina are both going to be really hot this time of year, but I'm still excited. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, Mississippi is very hot this time of year.
Yes, I'm excited. So, all right, everybody watching, you should click on the links below, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a thing. Make sure that you see about having Kids Blitz come in to your next kids program, see their availability. I know they do kids camps and conferences and church trainings. They do it all. So look them up and see what their availability is. Also, subscribe.
I should say this too. I'll get in trouble. But don't say this, Trish. I get in trouble. The Kids Blitz is the kids event. There's Fam Blitz. It's more for families.
Okay.
And the kids. The Blitz Party is something, I don't even do that one. That's Landry does that one. He's in our organization. He does a kind of a rave kind of a thing. That's games and praise and worship for high schoolers.
Neat.
I got to get that on there too. Now they don't let me do that one because I have no musical ability to be able to determine. So I don't get to do that one. But,
well, it's exciting. I've seen you in action at CM Connect conference and some other. I run into you at conferences, and what you do for ministry is really amazing. So
we may do a little blurb in Mega Connect this year too. So looking forward to that. But talk to Ryan about that. So
wonderful.
That looks like I'd like.
Well, that sounds great. Everybody, make sure you check them out, that you find out what's going on, see if you can work on having them come in for a Bully Connect. I think it would be really good as ministry to the bullies, as ministry to the victims. BullyBlitz. This is a ministry to the bullies, the victims, and the sneezers. Isn't that what you call them, the sneezers?
Yeah.
So,
sneezers, the bystanders, that's right.
Yes. BullyBlitz. I think it's really exciting and a fantastic idea and much needed at this time. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We appreciate all of you, and I will see you next week on the Peach Buzz. God bless.
Thank you. Bye.